Sloth Uni, what is going on in the football world right now? Stuff's getting wicked. Stuff is getting wicked. Like, just when I thought this season couldn't get any wilder, like just when I thought that this season was just when I thought that I had seen it all this season. You know, we've gone through some crazy times in this football season. We've seen some wild stuff this football season. But these last two pieces of information might just take the cake. Recency bias. Call it recency bias. But let's start off with the Phillip Rivers situation. Let me get a swig of water before we start off with this one. Good Lord. All right. So Daniel Jones was playing through a fractured fibula, which essentially had a broken leg. he essentially had a broken leg, and he played on it and continued to put pressure on the leg. And whenever you play through leg injuries, you put more stress on your healthy leg, which is what he did, and he ended up tearing his Achilles, unfortunately. So he is done for the season. The Colts served up their backup Riley Leonard like a sacrifice lamb. He also got injured, so now this put the Colts in a pickle. The Colts called up old man grandpa Phillip Rivers and said, hey, listen, we know you finished playing in the league like 5 years ago, and we know you literally just signed a 1-day contract with the Chargers like earlier this year to retire, but like, yeah, come listen, you know the scheme, same coach, you played with Jonathan Taylor before. What's it like? What's the come back for one more? We got a nice team around us. The AFC is weak. What say you, Phillip Rivers? He was like, you know what, man, I got one more in me. I'm very curious to see how far this team goes. Let me look at their schedule. But I'm truly very curious to see how far this team goes, because genuinely I feel like Phillip Rivers can actually I feel like he'll be better than Riley Leonard, me personally, because Phillip Rivers, even though he's older, I mean, like, his brain is still all the way there. He was never one of the he was never known for any of his physical attributes. It's always been his ability to read defenses, anticipation, all that. So it's like I'm not mad that he's 44 years. He's unked out. I'm not gonna lie, he's past unked out. Like, he's past unked out. Like, people be calling Aaron Rodgers unk. Aaron Rodgers is not unk. Aaron Rodgers, in football terms, Aaron Rodgers, he's OG. No, Aaron Rodgers is an old head. Mess all that. They're old heads. They're old. Aaron Rodgers and Phillip Rivers, they're the old heads. They're not unks. They're not the unks. Listen, Patrick Mahomes is unk now. Joe Burrow is about to turn 30 next year, and Joe Burrow is unk. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, all that. They're unk. They are unk. Phillip Rivers is no longer unked out. He's past that. He's the old head. But genuinely, the last time we saw Phillip Rivers in a Colts jersey in this same system with the same offensive head coach, or the same head coach who essentially runs the offense, he had Jonathan Taylor back there, albeit majority of the offensive line was different. He did have Quentin Nelson, but he wide receivers, tight ends, all that pretty much completely new. Jonathan Taylor is not new though, but I promise you, not only will he they've been training him to run this offense, and he's gonna pick it up like that. Like, even if it was a different offense, he's seen so many things in the league and been part of so many offenses, and he, regardless of what playbook they throw at him, because I'm sure the playbook isn't the exact same from it was 5 years ago, but he's gonna pick it up in less than a week. We saw what Joe Flacco did, moving from the Browns to the Bengals. Immediately pick, like, once you've been in the league for so many years, you've played so much football in your career that like you just pick things up. Like I'm not worried about him learning the system. I'm more worried about how he will hold up, because at the end of the day, he is still 44 years old. Like, brother is 44 years old, and he's not fully out of shape. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't look like fully in shape, but he's not like fully out of shape. Like, Phillip Rivers was never like a Greek god. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Phillip Rivers was never like Jalen Hurts. Like, come on now. I mean, he doesn't look horribly out of shape, but he's not gonna be running away from defenders. Genuinely, if anybody gets past the O-line and tries to sack him, he's gonna turtle up and just go down. Like he's gonna be playing like Tom Brady did in his last year. Like, but the Seahawks, they have the Colts have the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Jaguars, and the Texans. I'm not gonna lie to you, the Seahawks are gonna be trying to end this man's life. Like, their D-line is licking their chops like, hold on, guys. Listen, we are going to face a 44-year-old quarterback who you're telling me if we beat our man, there's literally no way he's running away from us. Come on. I want to see how he fares up against the Seahawks, because if he is in Seattle, I don't think they win this game. But I think they will make it close. I think they'll make it close enough for people to be like, to realize like, wait, Phillip can actually he can actually do something with this team. Once they get to the 49ers, I think they might beat the 49ers. Wait. I think it'll be close, but I think they might actually beat the 49ers. They're gonna get their lick back on the Jaguars, and they might lose to the Texans. That defense is tough, but I mean, Phillip Rivers has seen so many things. He might just start cooking against that Texans defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. He might start cooking against that Texans defense, and if you give him, it's 4 games for him to start heating up for the playoffs. We're already talking about the play. This is what Phillip Rivers does for this team. The last time we saw him in a Colts jersey, he threw for 4,000 yards. Like, this is not a run-of-the-mill quarterback. Like, albeit he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but Phillip Rivers is an extremely talented and smart quarterback. And the Colts have an extremely talented offense. Like, they have weapons all over the place, and they've got Jonathan freaking Taylor back there. All you really need to do, genuinely, all Phillip Rivers needs to do is make their passing game enough of a threat to where defenses can get off of Jonathan Taylor's ass and not just worry about him the entire game. Just give them somebody else to worry about other than Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor can handle the rest. Because you can give him like 32 carries a game for the rest of the season. Like, the season is pretty much over now. You're not worried about you're worried about getting into the playoffs and making a playoff run. You can feed Jonathan Taylor now. Like, you don't have to like, we're past the season at this point. We're worried about getting into the playoffs. And who is the best option for the Colts to make the playoffs? It's Jonathan Taylor. Also, this is one thing that really like didn't sit right with me. I saw that Cam Newton was like, it was a slap in the face that the Colts didn't call him. Listen, Cam. Listen, I love you. You're Cam. You're doing amazing things. You had an amazing career in college. You had I don't know about your high school. You probably had an amazing career in high school. I don't even, like, what you were probably doing in high school was more than likely illegal for these kids. I don't want to imagine what you were doing in high school. You had an amazing career in the pros that got derailed by injury. But Cam, you don't fit their system, brother. And you know this. You know, like, you're Cam. Like, don't get me wrong. I feel like he made that statement partly because he knew it would go viral, and it's for clicks. And he's a great personality. He's great at what he does, especially on the mic, and especially at garnering attention. But Cam, you know you don't fit their system, brother. you know you don't fit their system. Like there's a handful of teams in the NFL that would, like, if things went, like if their quarterback went down, like say if Jalen Hurts went down and they needed somebody to actually like run that type of system, I would say, oh yeah, like Cam Newton would be a pretty good person to run that offense. Funny enough, probably the Carolina Panthers. Maybe even the Cardinals. But as of right now, I don't see a lot of teams who would just be like, oh yeah, Commanders, but they've got Marcus Mariota doing things. See, listen, there aren't a lot of teams out there that have their offense structured. The Ravens. Like, there aren't a lot of teams out there. Maybe even the Bills. Honestly, maybe. But I feel like they don't have enough weapons for you, mijo. They don't have enough weapons for you. But there aren't a lot of teams who have their offense structured in a way that would actually benefit Cam Newton. And the Colts are definitely not one of those. Like, when you think about the Colts offense, they need an actual like premier passer. And I'm sorry, Cam, at this point in your career and what we've seen from you the past few years that you were actually in the league, you were not that great of a passer. Now listen, did you have some splash plays? Yes. But when we're talking about just carving up the defense and being cerebral, that wasn't really your game. I'm sorry, that wasn't really your game. But like that, like if we're keeping it a buck, it really wasn't your game, genuinely. So I wonder if he's really was being for real about like, oh yeah, like I feel like it was a slap in the face. Don't get me wrong. Phillip Rivers is 44 years old, bro. Like, I was not expecting them to genuinely like call him up. I was looking at all the free agent quarterbacks and I was like, damn, like honestly, Desmond Ridder not too bad, bro. Like Desmond Ridder not too bad, bro. Out of all the free agent quarterback options that they had, I was like, Desmond Ridder probably the best one. Because I didn't think Cam Newton was available, but like Cam Newton said, don't get me wrong, he made valid points. Because one, he's essentially retired. But Phillip Rivers, if you want to compare like retirements, you got Cam Newton retired. Phillip Rivers is actually like retired. Like, brother is done. Like he hung up the cleat. I don't know if you guys know this type of tech. Phillip Rivers threw his cleats up onto the power lines. He was finished. And he said, I got one more in me. But I truly think that Phillip Rivers can take this team to the playoffs. And depending on how his health holds up, and depending on how youthful he can look, the AFC is pretty weak right now. Do I think the biggest question is, can they go to the Super Bowl? No. But I think I genuinely had the Colts missing the playoffs, but I think they can make it now. With Phillip Rivers, I think they can make it. I think they can win a playoff game. But I can't see, even with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, I can't see them getting past the Patriots or the Broncos. Now, if he goes in and dices up on the very last game of the season, will tell me everything I need to know about what this Phillip Rivers led Colts team is going to do in the playoffs. Because if he goes, are they in? I think they're in Texas or in Houston. Let me double check. Yeah, they're in. If he comes into Houston and slices up this Texans defense that's been hellacious and just manhandling and terrorizing every single offense they go against, and if he goes in there and just dissects them, conversations might change. Because then I think he can do it against the Patriots. I think he can do it against the Broncos. And then at that point, it's, can the Colts defense make enough plays? And can Jonathan Taylor hold up enough and make enough plays? Like, that's when it starts getting interesting. That game against the Texans is going to tell me so much about the Colts. But enough about the Colts. Listen, no nonsense. This is one of the craziest storylines of the season, and it's like I wasn't expecting this coming, but here we are. Is Joe Burrow leaving the Bengals? Let me take another swig. Golly. Listen. I don't want to say that Joe Burrow is gonna, like, it's impossible that he leaves the Bengals, because we've seen too much stuff happen in this league. Nobody thought that Tom Brady would ever not be a Patriot. So, like, I can't say that it's not gonna happen, because we've seen crazy happen. Like, we've seen, who would have thought that Aaron Rodgers would play for two other teams after the Packers? Like, we've seen some, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's literally just the tip of the iceberg. At this point, and at this, like, in this year, I can't say that anything is impossible. I can't say that anything is impossible, because this football year has just been so much of a roller coaster ride. It's anything can happen. But I will say, I don't personally believe that Joe Burrow will get traded or try to force his way out of Cincinnati, because genuinely, if I was in the front office of Cincinnati, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, honest to God, I would hold Joe Burrow hostage. I would, like, hey, listen, brother, you signed this contract. If you don't want to play for us, you can retire or just not play football again, bro. Cause listen, we in this, me and you, brother. Listen, we're in this, me and you, man. It's me and you, Joe. All right, it's you and us. We drafted you. You are our franchise. You are all we got. Cause without you, who are we? So listen, we can do this. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You can stick with us through the rebuild. You can stick with us through thick and thin, or you can just pack up football. You can just pack up football. And if imagine if that conversation literally has already happened, and that's why Joe is all like, listen, like, maybe, if I'm not having fun, this isn't what I, all the blah, 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 blah. Maybe this has already happened. Maybe this talk has already happened. But genuinely, I truly don't believe that Joe Burrow will get traded, because there's no reason. There's no reason. Like honestly, if Joe Burrow had any, that would be the extreme. Like, if it really came to it, I would hold Joe Burrow hostage. Truthfully, I would, like, if it really came down to it, I would hold Joe Burrow hostage. That came out a little wrong. You need context for that. But genuinely, if Joe Burrow ever felt some type of reason that he needed to force his way out of Cincinnati, I'd be like, whoa, pal, listen, sit down with me. Hey, Joseph, come in, step into my office, Joseph. All right, here's what we're gonna do. What needs to happen for you to stay? Do we need to fire somebody? Do we need, like, what's going on? Do we need to get rid of the head coach? Do we need, like, come on, talk to me, because like we said before, you're all we've got. You are the franchise. You are, because without Joe Burrow, the Bengals are in the deepest pits of football mediocrity, and it's not even going to be, like, genuinely, I don't even know what a Joe Burrow trade would look like, because you could say 3 first-round picks, and I still don't even think that would be enough, because say let's just say the Vikings gave up JJ McCarthy and 3 first-round picks to the Bengals. that's you give Joe Burrow hellacious defense. You give him Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Jordan Addison, one of the more talented wide receivers in the league, extremely underrated. Great tight end in TJ Hawkinson, a great run game, and a mastermind in Kevin O'Connell. Like that. Are you kidding me? I would guarantee you the Vikings would throw 3 first-round picks and JJ McCarthy at the Bengals right now for Joe Burrow. If I were the Bengals, I would laugh in their face and say no, because what are we gonna do with these 3? Like, what are we gonna do with these 3 first-round picks? We're not that good of a team right now. We could use we can use our first-round picks that we have, keep Joe Burrow, and try to make this team better. And that's what I think they're going to do. I genuinely think they're just going to be like, listen, Joe, if you're disgruntled, we can give us a chance to fix this. We know that you've given us multiple chances and it hasn't gone well, but give us a chance to fix this. And I would hate for this to get to a point where it's like an Andrew Luck type situation, where genuinely his love for football just fades away because he's tired of getting hurt and just rehabbing literally almost every year, just getting hurt, rehabbing, getting hurt, rehabbing, getting hurt, rehabbing. And it's less about training to try to get better, and it's more about trying to get back healthy, to get back on the field, to get injured again. And I think that Joe Burrow is really just having a difficult time. I think he's just been having a difficult time in his career because he's had a lot of injuries in his career. And I mean, like he said, it's not just football. It's a lot of personal things as well that he's probably battling. So, truthfully, jokes aside, I don't think that Joe Burrow is going to leave the Cincinnati Bengals. But if there were any chance of him leaving, it would literally be like the biggest ransom that we've possibly ever seen, because I can't think of a time when a quarterback of this stature, of this tax bracket talent really became available. And the biggest thing we've seen in a long time was probably Russell Wilson. Say what you want about Russell Wilson. Say what you want about Russell Wilson. His legacy in Seattle before all the Denver nonsense, he was highly regarded as a quarterback, as he should have been. Like, he was a very good, like, Seattle Russell Wilson was on path to being a Hall of Famer. And it's sad that his career kind of gets like crapped on now that he's had a lot of not so great years, to put it in the best way. But that was really like the closest thing we've seen to a quarterback of this caliber in like the middle of his prime become available, because this doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen for a reason. Like, these teams, you might think they're stupid, because some of them are really stupid, but these teams aren't stupid. Like, they're not gonna just let one of the greatest players that one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch their team just walk away. And yes, some of the best quarterbacks have left in the past. I am aware of this. But it would be absolutely idiotic if Joe Burrow were to get traded. I don't care how good you could get 10 first round picks. That GM is getting fired. If the GM who trades Joe Burrow or allows Joe Burrow to get traded, he's getting fired. Whatever ransom you got for Joe Burrow, you're not going to be able to use it, buddy. That's for the next guy, because you're getting fired. You let him walk out of the door. Like, Gene, like, I would be like, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to make you a part owner of the team? Like, what will it take, Joe? That's what the conversation that the Bengals need to be having. And I think these are the conversations that they will be having, because I genuinely don't see a way that Joe Burrow gets traded. But like I said, never say never. It would be absolutely crazy though. It would be absolute. That would be the craziest thing to happen this season, hands down. Other than the Falcons beating the Buccaneers, what is going on, people? Like, what is going? This is the healthiest. Wait, has Jalen McMillan even played all season? Let me double check. Is this the healthiest that the Buccaneers have been all season and they still lost? Let's see. This is the first time this is the healthiest, or not the healthy. This is the first time that the Buccaneers have had their full complement of weapons, and they lost to the Falcons. Don't get me wrong. They didn't have a full week to prepare for this game and game plan, because on Thursdays all you do is you just do a walkthrough. You don't do practice, you just do a walkthrough. But still, you're a better football team than the Falcons. I get that it's a divisional game. I get it. I get they know you like the back of their hands. I get it. They know you better than you. They know you better than you know you. Literally, the Falcons knew what every single Buccaneers player. They knew their underwear that they put on before the Buccaneers player even knew what they were gonna put on that day. The Falcons probably already knew the underwear that they were putting on. That's how divisional games go. But you're a better football team than the Falcons, especially without Drake London and without their starting quarterback. Come on. You are literally giving the Panthers a chance to win a division, and they're up right now for no reason. Like, the Panthers are currently in the lead of that division, and they have yet to play the Panthers, but they literally have to beat the Panthers twice, in my opinion, because they play their next 3 games of the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Panthers. While the Panthers have the Saints, the Buccaneers, Seahawks, and the Golly, jeez. I mean, I think they're going to beat the Saints. More than likely, they're going to beat because the Panthers already lost to the Saints. I think they're going to beat the Saints, but those games against the Buccaneers are going to be that's going to be literally for the division. But that Seahawks game might just be an L. But who knows, man? The Panthers have been so weird this year. So let's just honestly, genuinely, I want to give a shout out to Bryce Young and this Panthers organization for not giving up on him and actually developing him as a quarterback. I get that he hasn't been what the entire Panthers organization has wanted and was touted as, but his growth from start 1 to now and just seeing the small jumps that he's done, genuinely, progress isn't always leaps and bounds, but he is making progress, and it's what you want to see in a young quarterback. He's only in his 3rd year. I'm pretty sure he's just in his 3rd year. Let me see. Bryce Young. Yeah, he's in his 3rd year. Like, he's not even past his rookie contract. Like, and you still have a 5th round option or a 5th year option. So if anything, I would say the Panthers are in a pretty nice position because they're in a position to say Bryce Young doesn't work out. They can keep him as a backup, and he would be a pretty good backup. But if he does work out, you have a guy who has shown that he can win you tough games, and he can literally go toe-to-toe with the best quarterbacks in the league. And he's someone who looks like he's learned from it, or is learning from his mistakes, and is just literally getting better and better and better. And I think the more defenses he sees, the more he learns about his game, what he can and can't do, what he needs to evolve on, he's just going to get better as a player. And I just want to say, a lot of teams don't really do a good job of sticking with quarterbacks and helping them develop and being patient with them. And I just want to give a shout out to the Panthers for being even when he was benched and things were not looking good for him, they still stuck it out. They still stuck it out, even though they were low key forced to, because they spent so much to go get him. but they could have pulled the plug. We've seen teams pull the plug faster. Josh Rosen. Hate to throw the blow there, but like, listen, Josh Rosen was literally a first round pick. Hold on, I'm pretty sure he was the number 1 pick. Hey Siri, what draft pick was Josh Rosen? Hey Siri. Okay, Siri's useless, guys. Good. I have to use my fingers. I'm sorry. No. Josh Rosen was like picked. It was like he wasn't picked number 1 pick. Okay, Josh Rosen was the 10th overall pick, but he actually got them Kyler Murray because he was so bad. I'm pretty sure Kyler Murray was the number 1 overall pick. That I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let me double check. Discount, double check. Yeah, Kyler Murray was number 1. Okay, so that's what it was. First round quarterback led his team to the number 1 overall pick, to which they picked a quarterback. That was the storyline of the Cardinals. But honestly, speaking of the Cardinals, we were talking about Kyler Murray. You could say that Kyler Murray is another like high profile quarterback that we've seen on the move, but he's with his struggles, I still believe in his talent. He's a very talented quarterback, but we're talking about Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray here. These are two different calibers of quarterback. But I honestly, let's get back on track. Panthers, Buccaneers, and then we're finished with this. I genuinely think that the Buccaneers will win the division because they're too good of a football team. But the Panthers are like a wild animal that's been wounded, and they have their back against the wall. And that is probably the most dangerous mentality for a football team to have. And they shouldn't be slept on, and they shouldn't be underestimated, because they could split the series with the Buccaneers very easily. And if they split the series with the Buccaneers, I think they win the division. Because if Miami beats the Buccaneers, which is possible, I doubt it, but it's possible. Even though I did have Miami winning, things have changed now. that the Buccaneers lost to the Falcons. They need that win in Miami badly. So now that, because I think that the Panthers will lose to the Seahawks. They could win, but I think the Seahawks edge it out. The Seahawks, I think, are a smidge overrated just because a lot of people, their defense is great, but I'm not a believer in Sam Darnold. I think that he has had a great comeback to his career, but I'm not confident that he can be that guy in those situations, because every single time he's been put in those type of situations this year and in the past, he's shown that he can't pull it out. And Bryce Young has, which is why I say they might be able to beat the Seahawks. But I'm still taking the Buccaneers. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win the division. I think that they can sweep the Panthers and still come back and make the play. I think they can sweep the Panthers, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. But I hope you all enjoyed. That's all we have for today. This NFL season has been crazy. I've enjoyed every single second of it, even the Miami Dolphins' disgusting start. And when I tell you, I'm getting war flashbacks thinking about the start of the season. But we're in a better place now. We're in a better place now. We're in a better place now. If you guys have any opinions on the Phillip Rivers situation, the Joe Burrow situation, Or let me know who you think is going to win the division between the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Class dismissed.